Ford shocks the market with an announcement that shakes the automotive industry. Are we on the brink of collapse? Recently, Ford made an unexpected move by deciding to cancel the launch of its three-row electric SUV, which was nearly ready for production. This SUV was intended to compete with models from other brands like Kia and Volvo, and could have been a big bet in the electric car market. With an anticipated investment of almost $2 billion, it was undoubtedly an ambitious project. However, after much analysis, Ford realized it was not the ideal time to launch a vehicle of this scale and decided to reevaluate its strategy in the electrification market. But what motivated this decision? At first glance, we can see that the electric car market, especially in the United States, faces significant challenges. In such a competitive sector, where new technologies emerge every day and development costs are sky high, Ford chose to proceed cautiously. This decision tells us a lot about the challenges faced by traditional automakers who, on one hand, want to modernize, but on the other, need to adapt to what consumers actually want. Therefore, in today's video, we will take a closer look at what led Ford to make this decision, as well as the impact it will have on US consumers and what it reveals about the future of electric and hybrid cars. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with more people. Understanding the electric car landscape in the United States. The electric car market in the United States has been growing. It's true, but it still has its limitations. Although Tesla paved the way for the popularity of electric cars, and now other automakers are trying to follow suit, the reality is that producing and marketing electric cars is not easy. These vehicles require a series of new technologies, especially regarding batteries, which are the heart of electric cars. Batteries represent a significant portion of production costs, making these vehicles more expensive overall. Furthermore, the development of batteries and the entire infrastructure needed to support electric cars is still in the growth phase in the United States. In large urban centers like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, there is a growing presence of charging stations. But the country is vast and diverse, and the reality of big cities does not apply everywhere. In more rural states like Wyoming, Idaho, or even regions of Texas, charging stations are sparse, slowing down the adoption of electric cars. For many families, especially those living in areas with little charging infrastructure, an electric car simply isn't a viable option right now. Imagine living in an area where charging stations are miles away. This creates a practical barrier for electric cars, and many consumers are not willing to deal with this kind of limitation. The weight of costs and international competition. Ford, like all major automakers, is constantly seeking innovation and competitiveness. However, the cost of developing fully electric vehicles is a burden for any company, and Ford is no exception. The high production costs are especially tied to battery prices. Additionally, Ford is also facing strong competition, particularly from Chinese automakers. In China, car companies have access to a battery supply chain that allows for cheaper and more efficient production. This advantage has enabled them to offer electric cars at prices that American automakers struggle to match. In other words, while the US is still building this production chain, China is already years ahead, which puts tremendous pressure on American and European companies. This pressure for lower costs and production efficiency makes the scenario even more complex. For companies like Ford, diving into the electric car market without a well-established infrastructure and with tighter profit margins can be risky. Caution is necessary to avoid making an investment that ultimately may not yield the expected returns. The F150 Lightning, an experience and a lesson for Ford. If we want to better understand why Ford decided to step back from the electric SUV project, the company's recent experience with the F150 Lightning is a great starting point. The F150 Lightning is the first fully electric version of the iconic F150, one of the most popular and beloved trucks in America. Launched with high expectations, it promised to bring all the strength and versatility of the F150 in an electric version. However, the development and production of the F150 Lightning were not as smooth as Ford had anticipated. Since its launch, the truck faced production delays and supply chain issues, as well as challenges in balancing costs and demand. This made Ford realize that the electric vehicle market, while attractive, is a bit more complicated than it appears. This experience taught Ford that perhaps the current moment calls for a more cautious approach. Many people in the United States love the idea of electric cars, but the reality is that there are still many challenges to overcome, especially in regions where charging infrastructure is limited. So instead of moving forward with a high-cost electric SUV project, Ford chose to invest in a technology that seems more affordable and aligned with what consumers need right now. Hybrid vehicles, the bet on hybrids. Instead of taking the risky path of electric cars, Ford is betting on hybrid vehicles. And this is not a random choice. It's a direct response to market challenges. Hybrids are vehicles that combine a combustion engine with an electric motor, offering the best of both worlds. They allow drivers to enjoy the economy and efficiency of the electric motor, while still having the security and range of the combustion engine. This, in a way, solves the problem of relying solely on charging stations. For U.S. consumers, especially those living outside major urban centers, hybrids are a practical and attractive solution. Many drivers in more remote areas prefer vehicles that offer good range and the ability to handle long distances. With a hybrid, they don't have to worry as much about the scarcity of charging stations, as the gasoline engine ensures they can continue their journey without major concerns. This decision also brings financial benefits for Ford, which can better balance production costs and serve a market that is still in transition. Instead of putting all its chips on a technology that is still establishing itself, Ford offers an intermediate option for those who want to experience a more fuel-efficient car, but are not yet ready for a full switch to electric vehicles. One of the key points to understanding this decision is the financial aspect. Ford's electric vehicle division faced heavy losses in 2024, with a deficit of around $2 billion in just the first 6 months of the year. The forecast for the rest of the year indicates that this loss could reach $5 billion. For any company, a loss of this magnitude requires a reassessment. Ford has therefore decided to cut its investments in fully electric vehicle projects, reducing the percentage from 40% to 30%. This cut is not just a short-term saving, it is a strategic shift. With these adjustments, Ford can direct its resources toward areas with more secure and immediate returns, keeping the company financially stable. This includes a global restructuring that ranges from closing less profitable factories to optimizing production lines. For Ford, these adjustments are a way to ensure that, in the long term, the company remains competitive, even if the electric vehicle market takes longer to stabilize than initially anticipated. Even while reducing investments in new electric vehicle projects, Ford continues to bet on batteries. This is a critical part of the company's strategy for the future of electric vehicles. They know that the electric vehicle market will continue to grow and that batteries will be essential to ensuring competitiveness. One of Ford's most promising initiatives is the construction of a new battery plant in Michigan, which will supply components for the Mustang Mach-E and other models. Additionally, Blue Oval City in Tennessee will be a facility focused on developing next-generation batteries, with the goal of launching a new electric pickup truck in 2027. These investments allow Ford to have greater control over its production chain, reducing dependence on external suppliers and ensuring the company has access to high-quality, lower-cost batteries. Additionally, these investments align with the tax incentives offered by the U.S. government for domestic and sustainable production, which helps Ford reduce the initial financial impact. What does this mean for the American consumer? For the average American consumer, especially those living in suburban or rural areas, this decision by Ford makes complete sense. Hybrid vehicles offer a practical and accessible solution, allowing drivers to experience some of the benefits of electrification without the challenges of a fully electric car. Hybrids have a clear advantage. They are more fuel efficient, and many states in the United States offer tax incentives for purchasing more eco-friendly vehicles, including hybrids. For consumers, this means savings both at the time of purchase and in the vehicle's operating costs. Moreover, hybrid vehicles are a transitional option that combines the security and familiarity of combustion engines with the efficiency of an electric motor. For those not yet ready to make the leap to a fully electric car, a hybrid is a solution that meets all practical needs. What is Ford's future? The decision to focus on hybrids now doesn't mean that Ford is giving up on electric cars. On the contrary, the company is waiting for the moment when the market, technology, and infrastructure are ready to support a more robust demand for fully electric vehicles. With investments in batteries and the construction of new factories, Ford is positioning itself to be ready when the electric vehicle market in the United States matures. Additionally, when charging stations become more common, batteries become more affordable, and American consumers gain confidence in electric cars, Ford will have everything it needs to re-enter the market with full force. Ford's choice to focus on hybrids is a strategy designed with the American consumer in mind. It's a practical and safe approach that meets today's needs while preparing the company for the future. For consumers, this decision means they have a more accessible and practical option to gradually transition to greener vehicles. But let us know in the comments, what do you think? Is Ford on the right track by focusing on hybrids now, or should it push harder into electric cars? Leave your opinion. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more talks about the automotive world. See you in the next video.